If you are looking for a budget pre-built PC, I'm going to show you different gaming desktops for different budgets. All of them are under $900. I will explain what these PCs are capable of running and what you can expect out of these systems if you are going to buy one of these. So if your budget is between $300 all the way up to $900, this video is for you. You will have all the links to these PCs and more down below in the video description. I highly recommend you checking the latest prices because maybe one of these systems it's $500 today, and when you're watching this video the price has gone up. So just for that I want to say that if the price changed, then I can't really do much about it. That being said, let's start. Now if you have less than $500, I actually don't recommend you getting a pre-built system. I would recommend you either going with a PC build or just going with the Xbox Series S, going for $300. There's no pre-built PC that is going to do better than this console for gaming. So if you have less than 500, I wouldn't recommend any pre-built PC. Now if you really want a computer that's functional, then you can get the Ryzen Mini PC. This one has the Ryzen 5 5600U, 16 gigs of RAM, 500 gigs of SSD, and it's $430 after the coupon code that you apply on Amazon. Now this is just a functional PC, it's not going to be flashy for gaming, and if you want to start gaming at 1080p, the only games that I do recommend you playing with this system are games like Minecraft, Valorant, and even then you can expect to get around 60 plus FPS on average for those type of titles. So not the ideal gaming system, but it's just a functional PC that is going to work just fine, especially if you want to do browsing and stuff and you don't want to go over $500. Now for $570, so not a ton of money over the last system, you're getting a more complete PC for 1080p. You get the Ryzen 5 5600G and the RX 5500. We are talking about the 2021 HP Pavilion gaming system. This is a really solid 1080p computer for the price of $570. Now, of course, once again, it's not the flashiest PC out there. You get 8 gigs of RAM and 256 gigs of SSD, which by the way, these are things that you can upgrade down the line, especially if you don't have the budget to do it right now. But with this system, you can expect to play those same esports titles that I've mentioned before, but we are talking about 100 plus FPS. So you will be able to run more games than the last PC for not that much more. With the next one we have the Victus 15L. This one is going for $650, but it's a much better gaming PC than the HP Pavilion one. Once again, the price difference it's about $100, a bit less actually, and here you get a huge upgrade. You get the i5 12400 for the CPU and the GTX 1660 Super for the GPU. Now if you don't know anything about components, basically the system is able to run every single game at 1080p, 60 plus FPS on average, high settings for most titles. Now if we are talking about Cyberpunk 2077 or Flight Simulator, those titles are of course harder to run. That being said, you won't be able to run those titles smoothly, but any other video game you will be able to run without any issues. And if we are talking about esports titles, then you can expect more than 140 FPS on average, and because of that you can get a 144Hz 1080p monitor without any issue. You get 8 gigs of RAM, 2x4, meaning that it's dual channel, which is better than single channel, and you get 256 gigs of SSD. Once again, if this is not enough for you, you can either upgrade down the line or you can click on customize and buy, change the RAM, change the storage, and have even a better gaming experience. Now, these HP PCs are not the most upgradable systems out there because they are OEM systems, and for that reason I will give you an option which is the Chronos Mini from Skytech. With this one you will have a worse gaming experience right now, but if you want to upgrade a bunch of components down the line, I would actually pick this one instead of the last one. You get the GTX 1650, the i3 10105F, and you get 8 gigs of RAM and 500 gigs of SSD. Once again, if you care about gaming performance and you want the best price to performance PC, then get the Victus 15L without a doubt. But if you're just going to play, let's say, esports titles or even GTA 5 at 1080p, and you also want to upgrade the system down the line, and we are talking about a bunch of upgrades, then it's worth buying the Chronos Mini. The price is the same, so don't worry about that. And you get a 600 watt 80 plus gold power supply, which is the key for these upgrades. Now, with the last system, I did the same thing. I'm going to show you an OEM system and a system integrator, meaning that the system integrator is more upgradable, but the OEM system is going to give you the best performance right out of the box. With the OEM system, and the one that I recommend you buying for gaming performance right now is the 15L with the RX 6600 XT. This one is $900. Like I said before, you get the 6600 XT for the GPU and you get the Ryzen 7 5700G. You also get 1TB of hard drive, 500 gigs of SSD and 16 gigs of RAM, meaning that you don't have to upgrade anything inside of this system like you have to with the other ones in case you want a better performance. Sure, you can go with 32 gigs of RAM. I just think that it's useless, especially at this price point, and it's not gonna give you any performance advantage for gaming. Now, the one thing that I like about this PC is that you can play high FPS at 1080p, but you can also start playing at 1440p without issues, 60 FPS on average depending on the title. But for $900 you are getting a 1440p capable gaming system, which in my opinion it's a pretty good deal, and it's also on sale for $450 less. I've seen this PC at $1,300, definitely don't get this system for that price, but if you see it at $900, I do recommend you buying as soon as possible before the deal ends. And the system integrator is the Skytech Nebula. This one has the i5-12400F, which is a great CPU, and you get the RTX 3050. Now the 3050 is much worse in terms of gaming performance than the 6600 XT, but just like I mentioned before, this system has a much better upgradable path. You get 1TB of SSD and 16 gigs of RAM, so no need for any upgrade. You also get better airflow and cooling system. However, on the Victus 15L, even though the cooling is worse, temps are not going to affect the system, and I'm telling you this because I've tested one of these PCs myself with higher end components. You can actually watch that review in the top right of the screen. Anyway, back to the video. The RTX 3050, a really capable 1080p graphics card. However, if you want to go for a 1440p monitor down the line, then you would have to upgrade the GPU, which is possible with the 600W 80+ volt power supply. And we are talking about a GPU like the 3060 Ti if you want to go for Nvidia, or the RX 6700 XT if you want to go with AMD. And that GPU also has a lower power consumption, so I would recommend that one instead of the 3060 Ti. Anyway, for this conclusion, if you want the best of the best right now in terms of budget, then I will go with the Victus 15L for $900. If you want something that's really good right now for 1080p, but also great to upgrade down the line, and we are talking about the most upgradable system of this video, then go with the Skytech Nebula. That's my opinion on it, guys. Let me know if you need any help in the comment section. I will help you out even if it's with a PC build, and I also have my website where it's really easy to find your perfect PC build or pre-built PC for your budget with the estimated FPS on your favorite game. You will have the link to it down below in the description, and if you found this video helpful, leave a like and subscribe, but most importantly, hit that bell button so you get notified when I upload this type of content. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.